What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my NFL DFS showdown picks for the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Houston Texans. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another NFL DFS video. This time we are breaking down the showdown slate for Thursday night, the first game of the 2020 NFL football season. Really looking forward to get right into it. If you guys can like this video, subscribe if you have not yet. Would really appreciate that a ton. But with that said, just an overview of the game. I mean, it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game of 54.5 point total, which is the highest on any game in week one. Houston did give up 280 passing yards per game last year, which was the fourth most. The Chiefs gave up 128 rushing yards per game last year, which was the seventh most. And the Texans gave up the eighth most rushing yards as well last year. So I don't know. I mean, two really good offenses and two not so great defenses going at it. This definitely has potential to be an absolute shootout here. So I am kind of expecting the Kansas City Chiefs to kind of go out ahead early, and then the Texans to possibly play from behind. So we'll definitely talk about that as we break down these different players here. And we're going to start it up with Patrick Mahomes at 12,600. Obviously, you can use him at captain. I like him in the flex spot quite a bit. He'll be in a lot of my lineups. What can I say about Patrick Mahomes? I mean, one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the NFL. He has that rushing touchdown upside. He has that rushing yard upside. He has a passing touchdown. He just has so much upside. On a game where a 54.5 point total, he's bound to score a bunch of touchdowns. If he's able to spread the ball around, maybe a couple touchdowns, go to Hill, a couple touchdowns go to KELCE. Maybe he runs a couple in. If that happens, he's definitely viable at that captain spot. But if he has one of those games where he throws 3 touchdowns to KELCE or like 3 touchdowns to Hill, I mean, that's when you're going to need Hill at the captain spot or KELCE. So I will have a lot of each. But I do think Mahomes is a fantastic play. You're going to want him in a bunch of your lineups. Just a lot of upside. I don't see him not doing well in this game. Very good matchup. Next, we got Deshaun Watson, 11,800. And, same thing. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Not too high on that Chiefs defense. I think there will be plenty of opportunities for the Texans to score. It kind of sucks. They got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, brought in David Johnson, got some draft picks as well. But I did not like that trade personally. I thought Hopkins, was a very, very important player. But we're going to see they have a lot of talent at the wide receiver position still. I mean, they have Stills, Cooks, Will Fuller, Randall Cobb as well. And I guess, Cooks is questionable. Cooks might not play. If Cooks does not play, I still think, Deshaun Watson's going to have that talent. He has 2 tight ends as well that he could also throw to. Plenty of weapons on that Houston side. I think he can spread the ball around well. So I think Watson at captain makes sense for sure, because maybe he can get 3-4 touchdowns, and maybe he can spread them all out. I mean, there's plenty of options on the Houston side. So I do like Watson at captain. Of course, I like him in the flex spot as well. I do think he has potential to score quite a bit. Getting into some wide receivers here, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill at 10,400. I mean, I have a feeling like either Hill's going to go off or either KELCE's going to go off. It seems like whenever one of them go off, they go off. I mean, I can definitely see Hill getting a couple touchdowns or, KELCE getting a couple touchdowns. 10,400 for Hill, it definitely makes sense. He does have crazy good upside against this Texans secondary that's not all that great. I think he should definitely have plenty of opportunities to score, get a bunch of receptions. And it seems like Mahomes really utilizes Tyreek Hill and KELCE the most out of all his wide receivers. It's really hard to pick those, that third wide receiver or that fourth wide receiver. But we know for sure that Tyreek Hill is going to get a ton of targets, a ton of receptions. And then Travis KELCE, like I said, one of these guys are going to go off. And KELCE definitely has that ability. 116 receptions in 19 games, 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns. The dude's a beast. The dude's a beast, and the Mahomes-KELCE combo is a beautiful thing. And I don't know, I like KELCE as well. I like him at captain because if he does get 2-3 touchdowns, a bunch of yards, receptions, for sure can be in the optimal lineup. Even 2 touchdowns could possibly do it here. So I do like KELCE quite a bit. I like him in that captain spot as well. And then getting into the next play here, EDWARDS-HELAIRE. I guess he's going to be possibly going into that Damian Williams role. And if he does, he's probably a great play here at 8,800. Not personally my favorite play on the slate. I'd rather go up and get KELCE. I'd rather go up and get Hill, but I see it. He's a fine play. I guess what I'm worried about is it's his first pro NFL game, and I'm worried about maybe a possible timeshare with Darrell Williams, and we'll talk about Williams in a little bit, but I think Hilaire is really talented. If he does go into that Damian Williams role, he's going to get opportunities to catch the ball. He's going to get opportunities to score, especially on a 54.5 point game total slate. The opportunities are going to be there for Hilaire, so for that reason, I will have some of them. I'd rather honestly play KELCE or Hill at captain, but I can see a case for maybe Hilaire being a captain as well. I do see the upside there, but proceed with caution. He is a rookie. We have not seen him yet, so I don't know. I'm interested to see what the Chiefs do with Hilaire and Williams and all of them. Will Fuller, 8,000, and this is more interesting if, first of all, I like Will Fuller anyway, but if Cooks does not play, I like Fuller a ton at the captain spot. I mean, he's someone who has upside already as it is, but if we're getting rid of Cooks, I mean, Fuller's targets are going to increase a bunch there. So Fuller is someone I do like at the flex spot a lot. I think there's a lot of upside. He's someone who can go out there and catch a 50-yard bomb at any given time. For that reason, on a showdown slate, it's a play you want to target. So 8,000, I like that quite a bit. I will have a decent amount of Will Fuller. David Johnson, this play is really interesting here. First time seeing him in this Houston offense here. I mean, personally, I thought he looked pretty bad last year in Arizona, but maybe the new offense helps him out a little bit. Not too sure, but he has a favorable matchup here against Kansas City, who was pretty bad against the run last year. So I don't know. I feel like he could do well, but the only thing I'm worried about is if Kansas City gets out to an early lead and they start, passing the ball more, using Duke Johnson a little bit more. Maybe David Johnson does not get as many carries. I don't know. It's really weird play here. 7,600. I think the upside's there in a high-scoring game. Maybe he's able to find the end zone. If he does find the end zone a couple times, he could be optimal. But I don't know. Not too sure how I feel about David Johnson. I kind of want to see how he plays first before I really go all in on him. Speaking of Duke Johnson here, 4,800. I like the price quite a bit. If the Chiefs do get out to a lead, maybe they'll bring in Johnson. He's really good in that passing game. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. I actually like Duke Johnson quite a bit. 4,800. If he does get into the end zone, I think can be a very good play at that price. So I do like Johnson for that reception upside, for that target upside. If the Chiefs do get out to a lead here. Next we got Kenny Stills, and this is more so if Cooks does not play. But even then, I mean, 4,600 for Stills is not a bad play. Obviously, you can play Randall Cobb as well as another play that I'm looking at. And then, of course, we can talk about the kickers. Typically, I want to find someone with upside, like a wide receiver or a running back, and I do see some plays down here, but there's nothing wrong with going with a kicker here, especially in a high-scoring game like this. But you do got to note that they do pretty much have to go off and kind of outscore the guys around them. Outscore the wide receiver threes, wide receiver fours around them, the running back threes around them. And it's very possible, especially in a high-scoring game. I do see potential for there being a lot of extra points, a decent amount of field goals. So it definitely makes sense to play some kickers. I would not play two kickers in a lineup. It just doesn't really make sense. So I'd pick one. Personally, I'm more on the BUTKER side, especially since Chiefs are like -9 favorites. I do think they're going to score more than the Texans most likely. And then we get into the defenses a little bit. I mean, typically in a high-scoring game like this, you wouldn't want to play a defense, but 3,400, anything can happen. If one of these defenses score or get like multiple sacks, maybe an interception or two, fumble recovery, it could be optimal. I mean, 3,400, so I don't mind taking a shot on some defenses here. Texans defense, 2,800. Maybe they find the end zone or something. I don't know. So I guess it's worth, you can take a couple shots on the defense. In all honesty, like, it's not the prettiest play in the world, but these prices are kind of intriguing. And if they do score or if they do get multiple sacks, maybe a couple interceptions, I don't know. Could be enough to get in the optimal lineup there. And then kind of the last play I want to talk about here, and it's Darrell Williams. And this is just in case there's like kind of a timeshare with Hilaire. And I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do yet. But he is the backup running back. Maybe they'll use him in the passing game as well. 1,800 if he does catch a couple passes. It could be enough to get on the optimal lineup, but that's a very, very cheap price. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it is a kind of a timeshare. Maybe he does find the end zone. If he does, 1,800 is a fantastic price. So I don't mind some shots on Williams. I actually don't mind some shots at him at captain, especially if he finds the end zone. With him at captain, you're able to get pretty much whoever you want with him at captain. So I don't know. I like Williams as kind of like a sneaky. I don't know. Maybe not so sneaky because a lot of people are probably looking at this play, but I like him maybe kind of like an under-owned play here. So I do like Darrell Williams. Other than that, I mean, if Cooks plays, Cooks is fine at 7,200. I'm not so sure he plays though. Other than that, Watkins. I mean, I don't. It's really hard to pick between Watkins, Hardman, Robinson. You just really don't know who's going to go off at any given time. Randall Cobb, someone we didn't really mention. Randall Cobb at 4,200 is interesting, especially if Brandon Cooks does not play. I'm actually a decent fan of Cobb. And then, of course, you got the Texans tight ends, Fells, Akins. I mean, they're in play, but I just wanted to go over the plays I'm most interested for this slate. But that's about all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, you can comment below. Follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. And good luck on the first game of the season.